All these folks be having freak off parties, man. I've been to at least 2 TI freak off parties, and we left because it was too freaking off.
Hey, yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Diddy. I support T.I. the King, and you should too. No Mercy in stores right now. Hey, yo, free T.I. Yo, we waiting for you, Playboy.
Do you think the reports are true that Diddy put $1 million to kill Tupac?
No, I don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
That shit ain't got nothing to do with me.
Okay.
It's T.I., Diddy, and, well, good old 50 Cent. He's right in the middle of it all, stirring things up again.
50. That doesn't surprise me. What's the latest drama?
Well, you know those kind of wild rumors about T.I. and Diddy's connection? The ones about those freak-off parties?
Oh, right. Those have been around for a while, haven't they? Sort of lurking in the background.
Exactly, but now they've just, like, exploded back into the headlines. It's pretty intense.
Okay, so who are the main players this time around? Still T.I., Diddy, 50.
Yep, them for sure. T.I., who's, let's face it, never really avoided controversy. Then Diddy, obviously, under a huge microscope lately. And 50, the ultimate pot stirrer. Oh, and here's the twist, Clem. You know, Jeezy's old road manager.
Clem. Okay, that's interesting. What's his role in all this?
Well, he's apparently the one dropping these first-hand accounts, painting this picture of T.I. being, like, really involved in Diddy's world, way more than people thought.
Wow, okay. So Clem's adding a whole new layer. That makes sense why it's blowing up now.
Totally. And the real tension, the thing everyone's watching, is 50 Cent's new documentary that's supposedly coming out.
Ah, the documentary. Heard about that. He's focusing on Diddy, right?
Primarily Diddy, yeah. But the word is he's planning to expose some serious, let's just say, dark side stuff. And the chatter. It getting louder that T.I.'s name is going to be mentioned a lot, possibly linking him directly to these parties.
Okay, so 50's potentially connecting T.I. to the Diddy situation through this documentary. That's quite a move. Is it just 50 being opportunistic, you think?
I mean, maybe. But you know 50, he's always playing the long game, right?
Definitely. And look, his history with both Diddy and T.I. is, let's say, complicated. It's like the perfect storm for him to jump in, isn't it?
For sure. It's not just about these new allegations. It feels like years of tension just simmering, and now it's boiling over.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's got these long-standing issues, and now here's this huge platform, some documentary, to maybe settle some scores.
Totally. And that feud between 50 and T.I., man, it goes way back. But these new allegations, it feels like they've cranked it up to 11. Like we're heading for a major collision.
It really does. What do you think is really underneath that conflict between them? Is it just ego or something deeper in the industry?
Good question. It's got to be more than just personal dislike, right? Maybe respect, credibility, maybe just different ways of moving in the business.
It could be. And these Diddy allegations just give them a whole new battlefield, you know?
Yeah.
A fresh reason to go at it.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, the big questions are pretty clear. How close were T.I. and Diddy really back in the day?
Right. What was the actual relationship?
And is 50 actually gonna, like, expose everything in this doc? Is he gonna hold back at all?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Does he really have the goods? Or is it mostly hype?
What kind of fallout could we even expect? I mean, if he really does have proof.
It all comes down to credibility, I think. How believable is Clem's story? And does 50 have anything solid to back it up?
Yeah.
I mean, 50 usually doesn't just throw stuff out there without something, especially with people he has history with. But you also got to think about his motives. Is it just about truth? Or is it payback?
Probably a bit of both, knowing him. Okay, so let's dig into Clem's side first. Jeezy's ex-road manager. He hasn't been shy, has he? Made some pretty wild claims about T.I. and Diddy's party scene.
No, he really hasn't held back. His whole story basically paints T.I. as like a regular fixture, not just someone who dropped by once or twice.
Popular?
Yeah, Clem alleges T.I. was there often and even hosted his own parties that Clem called
What was it?
freak-off level madness.
Freak-off level madness. Wow, that's so descriptive.
Right. It suggests T.I. wasn't just attending, but actively participating in, maybe even organizing that whole scene.
Clem even told that story about showing up to one of Diddy's parties and just, like, immediately turning around. Said the vibe was just off, implying some really out there stuff was happening right away.
Mm-hmm. And he specifically mentioned a robe-only party, too.
The robe-only party.
Yeah.
What do you make of these kinds of details? Like, does the specificity make it more credible, or...?
Well, the specifics definitely grab your attention. Whether they're 100% accurate or maybe a bit exaggerated, details like robe only make it feel more real.
Yeah.
You know, they feed that narrative that something unconventional, maybe shady was going on.
And definitely clashes with the sort of family man image T.I.'s tried to build up more recently.
Totally. It challenges that public persona significantly.
Okay, and then it got even more intense, right?
Yeah.
Clem told that story. Supposedly, T.I. was there after a show in a hotel suite.
Oh, right. The alleged contest.
Yeah, the eating pussy contest, as Clem put it, between two men and a woman, and he apparently named T.I. as being right there watching it happen.
See, allegations that specific and that graphic, if they stick, they can be incredibly damaging. Naming names like that, it creates this really vivid, potentially brutal picture.
Yeah, that's the kind of detail that just explodes online and becomes the whole story.
Exactly. It can easily overshadow everything else.
Then there was the claim T.I. went to one of those robe-only parties, the kind Clem said got real strange.
Right. And Clem even brought up Big Meech, suggesting Meech was throwing similar parties way before Diddy was known for them.
What's the significance of bringing Meech into it, like comparing Diddy's scene to that?
Well, it adds this historical context, I guess. Suggests maybe this kind of party isn't new or unique to Diddy. Maybe it's been a part of certain powerful circles for a long time. Entertainment may be connected to other worlds, too. It broadens the picture, though it's obviously a controversial comparison.
Okay, so Clem's laid out this whole narrative about T.I. being deep in that scene. Now let's pivot to 50 and T.I., because their feud is a whole saga in itself. It's been going on for ages, right? Where did it even start?
Oh, man. It's definitely been a slow burn. Lots of little jabs, public call-outs, things taken as disrespect. It wasn't just one big blow-up initially.
Wasn't there something early on about Versus, like T.I. wanted to battle 50?
Yeah, that was one of the early friction points. T.I. seemed really keen on a Versus battle, kept calling 50 out, and 50 just seemed completely uninterested, kind of dismissive about it.
Right, like he was brushing him off. How did that set the tone?
Well, getting ignored like that, T.I. probably saw it as disrespect, right? Like 50 didn't think his music measured up, or maybe just a power play. Either way, it probably didn't sit well and kind of set up this dynamic where 50 seemed to have the upper hand.
Then T.I. apparently made some comments. 50 took as shots at East Coast rappers.
Yeah, that definitely added fuel to the fire. But the real turning point, the thing that really cemented the beef, feels like that 2007 Crime Stoppers ad.
Ah, yes, the infamous ad. Why was that such a big deal for their feud? Break that down.
Okay, so context is key. T.I. was facing major federal gun charges, like potentially years and years in prison.
Right, it looked really serious.
And then, not long after he gets a relatively lighter sentence, he appears in this PSA, this Crime Stoppers ad, telling people to cooperate with police. For many people, especially someone like 50, that just screamed hypocrisy.
Yeah, the optics were just terrible. Here's a guy who just dodged serious time, now telling people to help lock others up. You can see why 50 and others would jump on that.
Exactly. From 50's perspective, it probably looked like a total violation of street code. You know, cooperating with law enforcement is a huge taboo in many hip-hop circles.
For sure.
So for 50, who really leans into that street credibility image, T.I.'s ad was likely seen as, well, snitching, or at least being dangerously close to it. And 50 wasn't going to let that slide.
And he didn't just let it slide quietly. He dropped that G-Unit track, You So Tough. That was aimed right at T.I., wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The lyrics were barely veiled, talking about someone facing serious gun charges, getting off easy. Everyone knew who he meant.
Yeah, I remember the line, got knocked with 10 machine guns, only get 12 months. I mean, pretty direct.
Super direct. It was 50 publicly stamping that snitch label on T.I. And he didn't stop there. He kept bringing it up in interviews, constantly poking at it.
What was the strategy there? Just keep hammering it home?
Seems like it. Persistent public pressure. Keep repeating the narrative of the ad, the light sentence to undermine T.I.'s street cred. Keep that cloud over him.
Meanwhile, T.I. kind of tried to brush it off initially, but you could tell it got under his skin. He couldn't really fire back too hard at first, could he, because of his legal situation?
Exactly. He was still under federal supervision, on probation. Any big public fight, any misstep could have landed him back in serious trouble. So he had to be careful, couldn't really go head-to-head with 50 aggressively.
Man, tough spot to be in. Then, jump to 2020, and boom, that old Crime Stoppers clip pops up online again.
Terrible timing for T.I., right? Because that was right when the whole 6ix9ine snitching thing was huge news.
Oh yeah, everyone was talking about snitching, and who jumps right back in?
50 Cent, of course. It was like a gift-wrapped opportunity for him. The clip resurfaces, snitching is the hot topic. Perfect time to reignite the whole T.I. controversy.
And he went straight to Instagram, right? Posted the clip next to T.I. denying he ever snitched. Just straight up trolling.
Relentless. That's when T.I. seemed to really start pushing back harder, saying flat out, I never gave information. but the damage was kind of done, wasn't it?
It's hard to fight a video clip, even an old one, plus years of 50 repeating the claim. Were T.I.'s denials effective at that point?
Yeah, somewhat maybe. He was definitely firm about it, but like you said, fighting that visual evidence, plus the narrative 50 had built for years. It's tough. The accusation had already taken root.
T.I. even tried challenging 50 to Versus again then, didn't he? Tried to switch it back to music.
Yeah, felt a bit like trying to change the subject maybe, reassert himself where he felt stronger. But then he took a shot at 50's music catalog too, which probably didn't help smooth things over.
Probably not, just poke the bear again.
Pretty much. It didn't really address the main issue 50 was hitting him with.
Okay, then fast forward again. The King Von situation. That was tragic. After Von died in Atlanta, T.I. made that post.
Oh yeah, the one telling people to handle your beefs in your city came across as really insensitive to a lot of people given the circumstances.
Yeah, bad timing and just not a good look. How did that play into the 50 feud?
Well, it gave 50 another opening, didn't it? T.I.'s facing criticism for the comment, and 50 can swoop in, amplify that criticism, and contrast it with his own actions.
And didn't 50 actually step up and show support for King Von's family?
He did. Publicly offered support,
Yeah.
which strategically made him look like the more empathetic one, the one respecting the situation, while painting T.I. as out of touch or disrespectful.
Man, 50 really knows how to play the angles.
It was definitely strategic. Further isolated T.I., reinforced his own image. It highlighted what 50 likely saw as another misstep by T.I.
So since then, it really feels like 50's just been collecting ammunition, right? Every little controversy, every resurfaced clip,
Yeah.
it all feeds into this larger narrative he's building.
Seems that way. He plays chess, not checkers, as they say. He waits, collects, then makes his move.
And the big move seems to be this Diddy documentary. Is it really all about Diddy, you think? Or is T.I. a major secondary target?
Knowing 50 and their history, it's hard to imagine T.I. not being featured somehow. While Diddy's the headline, 50 might use it as a platform to address other scores he wants to settle, other hypocrisies he sees. T.I. could easily be part of that package.
Especially with these rumors flying around that 50 might actually have proof. Old party footage, maybe texts, security stuff that could back up Clem's stories.
If, and it's a big if, but if he has concrete evidence like that, footage, messages, that changes everything.
How so?
Moves it all beyond gossip and rumors. It becomes verifiable, potentially. That could have huge consequences, legally, reputationally, for everyone involved.
Okay, phew. So just to kind of wrap our heads around this, we've got Clem, the former road manager, making these really detailed claims about T.I. being right in the mix with Diddy's alleged freak-off level madness.
Yeah, claims about regular attendance, hosting parties, the robe-only thing, witnessing explicit acts. Pretty specific stuff.
And all of this lands right in the middle of this super long, really bitter feud between 50 Cent and T.I.
A feud going back years, sparked by the gun charges, constantly fueled by that Crime Stoppers ad controversy.
Right. We've tracked it through the diss tracks, the ad resurfacing, the social media battles, even the King Von fallout. It's been messy.
And what stands out is 50's approach. It feels very calculated, very strategic, like he's been gathering string for years, waiting for the right moment.
Waiting to pull it all together in this documentary, maybe?
Could be. That seems to be his MO, playing the long game.
And these persistent rumors that he has actual stuff, footage, texts, reports, if any of that is real.
Yeah, if that materializes, it could be explosive, not just for T.I., but potentially for others implicated.
That's why everyone's so hyped or maybe nervous about this documentary. It's not just about Diddy anymore. People are wondering what else or who else might get exposed.
Exactly. Will it just be more celebrity drama that blows over? Or could this actually lead to a bigger shakeup, a wider reckoning in the industry?
So that's the big question we got to leave you with, right? What is the real fallout going to be from 50's documentary? Is this going to send shockwaves just through T.I. and Diddy's worlds? Or could it crack open something much bigger? What other secrets are still buried out there?
Precisely. The potential for this to connect dots, uncover networks, reveal hidden behaviors, it's significant. It really could raise some serious questions about power, accountability, and what goes on behind the curtain in that industry.
Right.